Hello friends, new and old. It's Vervain. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. This is where I make magic and where I make art, and sometimes, or really often, where I make them together. And that's what I'm doing today. So today, the wheel of the year has turned once again, this time towards Leo season, which means that I have here for you yet another in my series of astrological season tarot spreads. So today I am going to share with you a tarot spread for Leo season. I'm starting out by making some spread position cards, which I'll talk about in a minute. And this tarot spread for Leo season, you can use it with tarot cards, which is what I'm going to do. You can also use it with oracle cards, or you can use it with runes. Really, you can use it with any form of divination that can be used, like that can use spreads. So tasseomancy, for example, might not work so well unless, oh my God, how cool would this be if you had like a tea party and every person at the table was sitting like in a different spread position, and then every teacup you read as if it was like a card in that person's spread position, and you just did one big communal tea party reading. How fun would that be? Okay, who wants to come to my tea party? Anyhow, so here I am. I kind of have been creating these spread position cards for the last couple of spreads that I've done, and I kind of want to keep doing it. I'm having a lot of fun doing it, and I have this little secret ambition in the back of my head that maybe if I make enough of these, maybe I could make my own kind of version of like a spread card deck. So the way that these cards are used is they'll have the name of the position, the spread position on top, and then I'll take it to my typewriter and put in a bunch of little questions or micro questions that pertain to that particular spread position and to how you would interpret that card in a reading. And I'll type those questions onto the card. So these are just made with stencils that I have cut myself either out of Duralar or out of cardstock. And then I have just brushed on some Ranger archival inks in various colors to create these motifs that I think work well with the concept of each card without conflicting too much with the text that's going to go on each card. So this is the finished product, and I'm going to tell you what each one says.
So we have spark, what lights you up, what energizes you, what idea gets you thinking, moving, creating, what inspires you. Shine, how can you shine your light more brightly? Where are you called to shine your light? Where are you called to show up more boldly? What truth or talent needs to be seen? How can you step into the spotlight with grace? Roar, where can you speak up or set a boundary? What truth needs to be spoken or roared? What deserves your fierce protection? How can you claim space unapologetically? And roots, what helps you feel sturdy and self-assured? How can you ground yourself? Where? Where does or can your confidence come from? What from your past anchors, strengthens, shapes, and guides you now? How do your ancestors shape who you are today? What can you learn from them? And that is what we will use for our Leo season tarot spread, which you can also use with oracle cards, runes, whatever sort of divination method you want that can utilize a spread. I am going to be doing it with some tarot cards today. I am hoping to use this new Mindscapes tarot, which I'm very, very excited about. But as you can see, I haven't opened it, and it just came out today. So I thought that I would actually do a little deck unboxing and review and first impressions sort of thing. I have not done that in such a very, very, very long time. And I thought that this would be a great one to do it with since it just came out today and since I want to use it for this. So if you haven't watched it yet, go ahead and bookmark that video. I'll put it in the description to watch after this one so you can see what I think of the deck. And if I don't use this deck in this spread in the next part of this video, you'll know it's because I turned out to not be a fan. But I think I'm going to like it. I hope I like it. Okay, so I have just unboxed this, and so far I'm a fan. I did kind of tournament shuffle it during the video, but I'm going to shuffle it some more. If any of these get upside down, I'm not reading reversals today. I just don't feel like it. I don't feel like these landscapes desire to be reversed. However, you know, when it's your deck, do what you want. Yeah, that's like so much easier. Isn't that just gorgeous? I think I successfully kept any reversals from coming through, but if I didn't, I'm just going to flip them, and you're just going to have to forgive me. So we went over these spread positions before, but we've got Spark, Shine, Roar, and Roots. And I should have gone through and gotten my Leo significator out first, which is Strength, but I didn't. So I'm going to pull cards, and if it comes out, I'll skip it. And if it doesn't, I'll find it afterwards. The Fool. I swear I shuffled. Shine, Page of Branches, Roar, the Tower, and Roots, the Ace of Tides. Fascinating, truly fascinating. And I'm going to bring these down so we can see these spread questions. Some of these cards have more questions than others. I also like that I can go back later and like, because there's more room, I can go back later and just put it back in my typewriter and add more questions if I want to. And let's go ahead and find Strength. Beautiful. And this is, by the way, a reading for the collective. I am, of course, going to interpret it as a reading for myself, but it is also, if you are here and you feel called to connect with this in this moment, it is also a reading for you. And if you don't feel like this is a reading for you, then this is just a demonstration of how you can do this reading for yourself with your own cards. Or it's an example of a reading that we could do together if you want to work with me. So if you do want to work with me and you want to have a reading with me one-on-one where I read for you and only you, go ahead and click the link in the description down below where you can explore the different sorts of readings that I offer in my emporium. Okay, so we have Spark. What lights you up? What energizes you? What gets you thinking, moving, creating? What inspires you? And we have the Fool, which would be new beginnings, trying new things, venturing into the unknown, leaps of faith, you know, trying new things, trying things that are new to you, that are not just like new to you, but kind of exciting and a little bit scary. Doing things that scare you a little bit. So I guess I would ask you, what excites and scares you a little bit? And let that be what lights you up this season. Journeys, travel, adventures, starting new projects. Starting new projects is so good for my creativity. Finishing projects, very difficult. Starting new projects, very fun. I just started and finished a project in the span of a week. I put together a D&D-ish one-shot for one of my friends' birthdays for like 10 people who'd mostly never played before. And it was all fairies, and it was so much fun. And in 1 week, I like made everyone's characters, made all the maps, made all the monsters, stat blocks, and everything, and like put together a full adventure. And it was so much fun. And I feel like it managed to stay fun the whole time because it was still new, even by the time I was finishing it. Like, I had such a short time span to work on it. And maybe that's kind of what I'm trying to like bring to this card here, is that if you are like me, where starting new projects is really fun and exciting and really gets you going, and finishing old projects just feels like dragging suitcases up the stairs, maybe consider setting yourself really short, tight deadlines before you start things. So yeah, I would say consider like starting something new, but also giving yourself a really tight deadline to finish it and get it done so it doesn't have time to become boring and drag you down. And I have a project that I'm thinking of for myself for this. So I'm going to take my own advice there. Let me know how that feels to you. So then we have Shine, and we have Page of Branches. And I actually just read about this card in the book because I found a lot of the minors a little visually confusing. But once I started to read about them, I was like, okay, I really see kind of what's going on here. So the questions for Shine are: how can you shine your light more brightly? Where are you called to shine your light? Where are you called to show up more boldly? What truth or talent needs to be seen? And how can you step into the spotlight with grace? And this actually is another card about like trying new things and starting new adventures, but also like staying grounded while you're doing it. And so I guess I would say that, like, while you're setting yourself these new and exciting projects with these really tight deadlines, don't get too overly ambitious with them. Be, stay grounded and reasonable with how much you can accomplish in the time that you allot yourself. Um, because boy, I sure know how it is to like get really excited about an idea and then get really, really ambitious with how far you want to take it. And you start out thinking like, oh, I'm just going to do this little project real quick. And then you think, oh, but it could be so much cooler if I did X, Y, and Z. But if I do X, Y, and Z, now it's not going to be a half-hour project. It's going to be a 6-week project. And then it turns out that if your brain operates like my brain does, 6-week projects are actually never projects. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. So, staying grounded. I don't know that that's answering this Shine question, but it does feel like another piece of advice related to this. Well, I feel like this does answer that question, and here's how. So, where it says, like, how can you shine your light more brightly? Like, when we get overly ambitious with the projects that we set ourselves and they don't get done, the world never gets to see the manifestation of our ideas. The world never gets to see that light being shown on the world because it kind of stays contained in the studio. And yeah, so how can you shine your light more brightly? By actually being less ambitious about how bright you're going to shine so that you can finish more and actually do more shining and sharing. Boy, these are words I needed to hear. I hate it when that happens. Okay, roar. Where can you speak up or set a boundary? What truth needs to be roared? What deserves your fierce protection? And how can you claim space unapologetically? And I think this comes down to, with the tower, I think this comes down to like, there may be things that you know in your heart, in your soul, in your core that need to be torn down and rebuilt differently from the ground up. And it may be that like you've made peace with the idea of tearing that thing down, but other people in your life have not. And there may be external pressures to keep what you've built so far, what you already have, even though you know it's not working for you. And so how can you speak up and set a boundary? You can tear down what you know needs to be torn down anyway, because you know in your core that that's what's best and that's what needs to happen to make space for all of the beauty that you can create and live and experience and shine in the future. Okay, roots. What helps you feel steady and self-assured? How can you ground yourself, and where? Where does or can your confidence come from? What from your past anchors, strengthens, shapes, and guides you now? and how do your ancestors shape who you are today, and what can you learn from them. And the fact that I got Ace of Tides here, Ace of Cups, this, like, immediately what I thought of, for me at least, is because my word of the year last year was overflow. And you can go back and watch all about me talking about that. But it's largely about like making sure that my cup is full, like actually putting my own oxygen mask on first, actually filling my own cup first, so that I can really be there to pour from the overflow. Because if I'm just trying to pour from the overflow, but there is no overflow, I'm just going to pour myself empty and start to be resentful and everything. And that's not the way for me to be a good mother. It's not really the way for any of us to be good, whatever we are. So, in that sense, that focus on overflow, because overflow was my word of the year last year in 2024, this is a lesson from my past. And this is a lesson that as my toddler becomes more demanding, can you hear her at the door? Becomes harder to listen to. It becomes harder to stick to my guns on this one, on filling my own cup first. She's so cute though. And also, like, I would not be here today if my ancestors had been pouring from an empty cup for generations and generations. Like, we would not have made it this far if my ancestors did not take care of themselves in order to be able to take care of their children, who also became my ancestors, who took care of themselves in order to be able to take good care of their children, who also became my ancestors. So that, and of course I can ground myself in filling my cup, and I get a lot of, it's true, I get a lot of confidence from when I fill my own cup, by doing things like this, by making art in my Imaginarium, by playing with cards in my Imaginarium, by making videos to share with you, by shining my light in my little corner of the internet. If I may be so bold as to say and think that that is what I'm doing here. So, thank you so much for watching this. I must go attend to my toddler, having now filled my cup in this way. I'll catch you on the other side. You can catch this. This video will probably go up before my blog post about this spread goes up, but when the blog post goes up, I'll put that in the link in the description below. And at any time, you can sign up for my newsletter at a different link in the description below. And then every 2 weeks, I send out little mini pick-a-card readings, which are really fun. But two, I'll also update you on anything I've posted recently on my blog or on my YouTube, so that you can stay on top of, you can always see the newest spreads and posts and videos and fun things. So anyhow, hit that subscribe button down below, explore the links in the description, go check out my video reviewing this very fun, very cool Mindscapes tarot deck, and I'll see you in the next one. So until we meet again, be well, seek beauty, and leave a little magic wherever you go. Bye!